Welcome to the full moon in Sagittarius. The theme for this next 2 weeks is stay active and keep going. We are already under the welcoming blessings and grace of this full moon. And finally, this moon brings some sighs of relief and even joy and confidence and motivation to move forward. You will feel the push to take much needed action in areas where you have been reluctant since last full moon, which was on April 23rd. So get your lifestyle and biology ready for unexpected opportunities, increased motivation, and cosmic support. I will be sharing 3 powerful and useful techniques, which I'm so excited to share today, to optimize and harness the gift of this full moon later in this video, and also some nutrients to balance your autonomic nervous system so you can take in the gifts to this full moon in Sagittarius and propel your life into motion. My name is Masami Covey. I'm a health intuitive, functional nutritional therapist, and a moon enthusiast. I lead women in rediscovering the wisdom of living with the lunar cycles during and beyond menopause. If you're interested in lunar cycles, learning about moon wisdom and how the moon impacts various organs, systems, hormones, and even fascia, please subscribe to this channel and join our mailing list by clicking on the link below. So last 4 weeks provoked introspection, almost required introspection, which gave rise to deeper understanding into your past and past patterns and what you fear the most. Also, for many of us, the last 4 weeks have felt like Sisyphus pushing a boulder up a mountain, only to have it roll back down again and again. But after weeks of introspective pause and reflecting on what creates more inner harmony and balance, it's time for us to set intentions to take actions. This full moon in Sagittarius kickstarts your next move and flow that have become too stagnant, perhaps too comfortable, even complacent. And many of us are being called to be luminaries of our time in our own ways. But being complacent and comfortable may actually block you from illuminating your light where that's needed. Sagittarius full moon will also give you the opportunity to bring lightness to otherwise serious and heavy situations, learn from past experiences, and grow from challenges and successes. This full moon is a reset as we wrap up not only the last 2 weeks or even 4 weeks, but I would say since the lunar and solar eclipses. So let's go into some tools that will help you reset your biology, especially your nervous system, so you can continue to motivate yourself to take actions and keep going. So let's get into tools to reset your motivation and action and harness the power of this full moon. So to increase confidence and motivation, there are a couple of things that I will be going over, but let's start with this one pressure point or acupuncture point that it's inside your ear area. And it's a really wonderful spot called Shinmon, but Shinmon means gates of gods. So many of these divine energies can enter in and you can listen and you can hear. So it's an opening space for you, and that will help you to motivate, create movements inside you. And this Shinmon pressure points will balance your autonomic nervous system and increase motivation, confidence to take actions. So it's a very easy to access point. So let's get started with this. So sideways, you can see my ear here, and then you can see the outer edge. But when you go to the inside, when you put your index finger will fit just right into this little indentation area, like an alcove, right? And you can put your finger right on it. That is exactly the spot. So you just go in, your index fingers will go right in and it will get stuck right at the edge. You might see it as like when you're putting your finger through, it'll get stuck right there in that little fold, okay, in the little pocket. That's where you want to put your fingers. And then press that area for 10 seconds. And then go ahead and gradually release those fingers, the pressure. You're putting a pretty straight in pressure right onto that. Okay. And you can repeat that 3 times or so. And that's really a nice way to clear not just the listening, but even your eyes. Okay. So that's a great way to balance not only what I'm talking about in terms of the motivation and the confidence and taking actions, but it's great for balancing your autonomic nervous system. And we talk a lot about fight or flight, which is more of the sympathetic side of the nervous system, and rest and digest is the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. And we tend to kind of look at it as, sympathetic is not good, and then it's better to be in a parasympathetic. But we need both. And especially when you are looking for more movement and flow, and also the motivation to keep going, which is the theme of this next 2 weeks or so. It's important that you don't get stuck in actually the parasympathetic dominant side. And more often than not, I actually work with people who are stuck in a parasympathetic dominance mode as well. And they tend to have a harder time tuning into their own inner energy fields. They're having a hard time turning on the motivation button and in getting their movements going and getting going on what they're here to do. And they're having a hard time taking actions. And often they can be overly alkaline in their body. And it's called alkalosis, and it can cause you to fatigue. You could get really grumpy and irritable and lethargic. And it's more of like a lethargic type of depression, is what many of these parasympathetic dominant types will go through and experience. And, I will go into a lot of these details in upcoming programs that I'll be doing. So stay tuned to that, which I will announce a little later here. And what happens with the parasympathetic dominance people is that they cannot hold calcium in their bodies very well, so that the cell walls leak cellular contents and predisposing them towards allergies and histamine reactions. And dermatologically speaking, a lot of the parasympathetic dominant people can experience things like symptoms like hives and itchy skin. So maybe pay attention to some of these symptoms and notice that you might be flipping over to too much of the parasympathetic side too, because it's all about the balance. It's not good or bad. We need both. And just as a side note, calcium modulates the sympathetic nervous system, which helps balance the parasympathetic nervous system activity. So really, getting adequate calcium through your food intake. If you are taking calcium supplements, make sure that they are able to be absorbed in your body. So ionized form of calcium supplements become very important. And also, by the way, asthma is something that I see often in even kids to people in their 80s sometimes. They are most likely parasympathetic dominant nervous system people. And so they're having the system that it's out of balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So those are some of the things to maybe pay attention to. So these points that I just showed you right on your ears, that's called the gates of the gods. That can be a really wonderful way to balance some of your nervous system issues that you are experiencing. And just a couple more things about the parasympathetic dominance is that unlike sympathetic dominance people needing more magnesium, the parasympathetic dominance people actually need a little bit more calcium and absorbing calcium. So that requires stomach acid as well, right? And need more red meats or maybe animal protein. Getting adequate protein will be very important in this case for parasympathetic dominance people. And fruits and vegetables can be too alkaline actually when you are stuck in a parasympathetic dominance. So even like dark green leafy vegetables and citrus, like using lemon and even limes, and especially things like grapefruits, can really flip your nervous system towards more of an alkalosis side, the parasympathetic side. And I know it could be a very surprising thing. So when I work with my clients and they're always doing the lemon juice squeezed in the morning, I need to look at what's going on with even their motivations. How are they doing? Are they getting up in the morning? Are they excited to face the day? And if you're having a hard time and there's some lethargy that's happening to you, you may need to pull back on your lemon juice, because lemon juice will alkalize your system. It becomes immediately alkaline in your stomach. And that can maybe turn off the motivation button. And that's not what we want to do, especially during this full moon energy and for the next 2 weeks when you want to harness that very, very wonderful support that we're going to be receiving from this moon. And let me just give you quickly some of the supplements that I do recommend if you are struggling or you're noticing that you are stuck in a parasympathetic nervous system, which is Zorex's product. So you can look it up on my website, masamicovey.com. One is called SOS. It's a whole system balancing your organs and whole system balancing supplement that I really, really love. This is one of their newest supplements that came out. I love taking this about 1 to 2 caps daily with food. And if you are maybe bigger than 175 pounds or so, you may want to do 2 to 3 caps daily with food. And phosphatidylcholine, I'm sure many of you have heard of phosphatidylcholine, so important, not only for your cellular health, but to balance your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, both ways. So you don't lean on one side too much and get stuck. It's all about like a nice moving swings, right? You want to go back and forth with this. So you're motivated when you need to be motivated. You're resting when you're needing to be resting and healing. Okay. So if you're suffering from like a fatty liver disease, which is skyrocketing right now, and liver issues, phosphatidylcholine is a must, since decreased levels of choline equates to greater risks to liver issues. So please check out phosphatidylcholine as well. You can also check the ones that I use on MasamiCovey.com. Under the store, you'll find a phosphatidylcholine from Zorix as well. 2 more supplements that I think can be really important for balancing your nervous system, but especially if you're stuck in a parasympathetic nervous system where you're not feeling that motivation and keep going and having this total exhaustion that you just having a hard time getting out of that rut. So number 3 supplement, so I talked about SOS, phosphatidylcholine. Number 3 would be Power Pill. So I love that name, Power Pill. It really gives you the power. And you only really need to take 1 capsule of this in the morning with breakfast, maybe right after you've had a little bit of food to eat in the morning. But if your fatigue is acute, you can also take 1 more at lunch as well. And the CGF, many of you have heard me talk about the complete glucose formula. This one is, I would say, one of the finest glycemic professional formula out there that you can get to balance your blood sugar, but also to balance your energy. Such an amazing formula to support your nervous system as well. So I love this. I would love for many of you to start taking CGF, 1 between meals, or at least 1 in the morning between your breakfast and lunch, and take 1 between lunch and your early dinner or supper. And I will include the YouTube video that I did. That is really a great video that I actually was watching it again because I learned so much from some of the things that I have done also. But in this video called Foundations of the Body, I cover things from hydration to digestion to nervous system, balancing of the nervous system, to even copper toxicity to mineral imbalances. So this is a very important video. So please check out the link below as well. And I will post that right after this video so you can watch it as well. And before I share 2 more fantastic tools to harness the power of this moon and reset your biology towards increased motivation and staying steady, I have an exciting announcement. So I will be offering a monthly moon wisdom call, 75-minute call, including Q&A, to help you navigate the 4 phases of the moon, each lunar cycle, from the dark moon to full moon and back to the dark moon. And I'm going to start this in June. So the new moon in June is June 6th. So the dark moon will be a couple days before that. So I'm planning on starting this moon wisdom call, 75-minute call, on June 3rd. So stay tuned for that announcement. And please check out the link below to sign up if you'd like to sign up already, or join my email list so you don't miss this announcements and where to sign up and all those links that I sent to you via email. Okay, so let's get to the 2 more tools that I am so excited to share with you. But before I share it with you, I'd like for you to check in with your body. And I would love for you to do a quick forward bend, or if you can get down on the floor and then let your legs extend out and then you're just doing a forward bend and reach for your toes. Just do a very gentle one. It's not forcing. We're not doing a yoga class. We're not trying to do a stretch class. We're just noticing how the nervous system is reacting to the stressors of our modern terrain and modern lives. So let's check that out. So I'm going to do that as well. So I'm going to do a forward bend and check and see how far I can go. And I'm going to do it sideways so you can see it. So I'm going to go forward. And I can sense areas of my bodies that are feeling a little tight, and areas of my back of my legs that are feeling like I need to address that area a little bit more. Okay, so I now know the before and after. Okay, so we're gonna be doing the after. So go ahead and Warm up your palms. Clap, 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 clap to bring some energy in there. Bring all your fingers together at the same level. So if you have long nails, this might be a little bit tough for you to do. But if you don't have long nails, you can do this first tool. And I want you to just tap the temples of side of your eyes. Just tapping. And you don't need to tap really, really hard. It's almost like so gentle. Maybe you want to start so gently that you're trying to wake somebody up that's asleep right now. Just gently. And you could do this for about a minute. If you feel comfortable, you can even do it longer as well. And next, what we're going to do is use the palm of your hands and place it right on the temple area again. And this is going to contort your face a little bit, okay? But I want you to grip onto the fascia around there at the end of your eyebrows and then the end of your eyes, and then roll. And then you're creating these pull and wrinkles and pulling and stretching. But you have the palm attached to that temple. And so move that in circles. And we're not just lightly doing it, but you're not forceful, but your palms are firmly attached to that temple area. And you're massaging that area to relax and loosen up some of the fascia here. And you can close your eyes if that's comfortable. And circling, I'm going from a front to back, front to back. I like to do it about 30 circles. And if you want to do a little bit longer, that's fine as well. Keep breathing, taking a nice, long, slow breaths here. And then go ahead and relax. And then let's test it out and see how your forward bend changes. And I'm going to go into my own forward bend. And I have to say that the differences are so remarkable. I am very excited. I could really relax into and letting go, and more than just touch my toes, but letting my back of my legs really open up. And I could feel the opening in my spine as well. So I didn't do anything to stretch your hamstrings. In fact, I did not do anything to my legs, but I just relaxed the fascial connections as well as balancing your nervous system through the temple area and then opening the ear area. You can even do this and tap and the movements with your hands first after you've checked in with where you're at before, and then do those 3 things, and then do the forward bend again after and see how that will change for you. Okay, so these are great tools you can use during the next 2 weeks. And, you know, anytime you feel like your nervous system is stuck in one or the other, utilize these tools. And I'll be sharing a lot of these tools in my monthly Moon Wisdom call that I'm starting in June, much more in detail. So please check that out, and I look forward to being with you soon. Happy full moon, everyone. Namaste.